Hey, good morning. So I'm pretty excited. I got a call from my buddy Ben up in Vermont, and he's got a permission to dig an 1840s property up by the Canadian border, and it sounds very promising. So I'm hoping we get some good stuff. So I'm heading up to the mountains. I do believe that is Mount Washington, but that's just a guess. That's a lot of snow already. That would be the Mount Washington Observatory, I think. Up here on the Canadian border, you can hear the French-Canadian radio stations coming through on the radio, and I'm right about where I'm going to be meeting Ben to go digging. Gotta look for a Bear Road. You're going to meet Ben. He's about the nicest guy you'll ever meet. He's quite a digger. I call him the human bulldozer. He can clear a lot of ground, and he knows what he's doing. And he found some great stuff this week that I'm dying to see, but I'm hoping we get some fresh stuff today. So, should be there in 2 minutes. This is the road. Oh, I think I see him. Oh, he's got his probe out. Look at that. Excellent. He's got bottles all in the window, so he's gonna want these bottles if we find any. How you doing?
Don Bram.
It looks like you already found all the bottles.
Oh, actually, yeah. Some of those I found, and some of those Ben gave me. Nice
All
to
right.
meet you. Yeah.
Good to meet you.
Yeah.
Let's go, man.
Yeah. They just went.
Yeah. You know better than me, because
Yeah.
you're the woodworker.
Well, I don't know.
It's a weird.
I was
woodworking
guessing
tool.
a funny shave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
I just remember seeing
Oh yeah.
guys
I've
with their
watched
hooves
them.
cleaning out like that.
I think this was a handle.
But I think that's the handle.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, this
That's
is a
the
ferrule.
handle, ferrule, and,
Yeah.
and you know how they peen over a handle for a draw knife or something?
I don't. But
Oh, okay, yeah, you see
Now I
old
do.
draw knives, the wooden handle, they just peen that over to hold the handle on.
Yep.
You know? And then I think, I was saying to Ben, I think the metal they used was flexible enough you could replace the handle
Yep.
and rebend it.
Pull it hard enough
'cause
and
it's
straighten it.
hand forged,
Yep.
that kind of thing.
What do you think that one was?
A chopper.
Yeah, nut chopper,
You know, nut
I'd
chopper.
be guessing.
Kitchen?
Yeah,
Yeah.
kitchen nut chopper.
Although it does have a funny tang.
It
you
does
know,
have a
for
funny
for a
tang.
chopper.
What's
Yeah.
a tang?
It's the part that sticks into the wood.
All right.
Yep.
Or the metal, depending. You know.
Yep.
It's the I guess the shaft that you hold.
Yeah.
Did you just find these or
Yesterday.
No.
But somebody comes in and
In fact, this used to be hay all around the house.
Yeah.
The only part that was corn was down the bottom, flat. And the same family that owns this owns the place up the road, and there was a guy leasing. And he had quit milking before I moved here, but he kept other people's heifers, and he hayed this with his horses, which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And he also fertilized it with his horses, with the heifer shit.
That's badass.
And then his lease came up, and they didn't renew it on him.
how long you been here?
I got here in 2009. Yeah, yeah, and they lease it out to Lawson Farms over in Coventry, one of the biggest, grossest farms in the county, and they turned it all into corn, and it's poison corn. You know, they come by with a big, I call it the moon machine. It looks like it would drive across the moon, has super high clearance, has these wings that spread out, sprays like 50-foot swaths with something that turns all the green things that grow in the spring brown.
Okay.
You know, and it's right.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually bumped out. They were doing it right up to my chicken fence, and I bumped it out, and they still right up to the fence. And I bumped it out on my garden side. Same thing. Built a fence out there. Or, you know, put shit there so they couldn't. And yeah.
Is it for oil or animal feed?
No, they're a dairy farm. Yeah. They're one of those dairy farms feed more corn than hay. Although they also started hay in this pasture. You know, it used to be when Jeff had the lease, he'd put the heifers out there all summer, which is kind of nice, you know.
Who's he?
See the cows. Guy that used to lease the other farm they own up the road here.
The horse.
And yeah, they turn it into hayfield, so now they're spreading shit over there, liquid shit, the really stinky kind.
That's pretty much the case with most of the farms now. Like a few farms own all the flat hay land.
Jeff used to spread with his horses like the heifer shit and some of his horse shit. It didn't stink at all. No. You know, the smell wasn't bad at all. When they spray this field and when they spray that pasture, I can't be outside for a few days.
I think I've driven by.
You just can't be outside. It's so bad. The ammonia.
I'm in my car. I'm like, was that me? No,
and you're in your car. You
exactly.
Electricity came by in the 40s, and they didn't take it, and they were here into the late 50s,
really?
60s.
They said they didn't want it?
They didn't want it. Kerosene worked fine forever. Why change?
Yeah, we moved into my house, and when we bought the house, similar situation, no windows, no walls, no floors. It was just a shell, and we rebuilt it, which was really exciting.
Bram's got a really cool house. How old is that? That's like late 1700s?
1790s.
1790s?
Yeah. Erected on the Isle of Shoals.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Right.
And they moved it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they moved, I forget what the town hall said, 25 houses, and one of them was ours, and they put them on an ox cart and drove, you know, right where it landed, and
so
all that.
They erected it in the 1790s at your house, so it's probably, it was built in the 1790s
right.
at Isle of Shoals. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Definitely is nice. It's got all the marriage marks and stuff.
So 1812 is when it came to our house.
Yep.
Because they were getting it out of the way from the British.
Gotcha.
Right. There's a whole thing that went on in the New England coast, right?
So tell me this again. This is the outhouse window.
Yeah, this is to enjoy your day.
And that's the clean out.
Yeah, this is the clean out. So we're going to dig down and trying to get under it probably.
So, like, I don't know if you know much about outhouse pit digging or whatever. Just if you see an outhouse pit being dug, typically it's in the big cities, strangely enough, are like Camden, Trenton, New Jersey, Cincinnati, Ohio. The way the cities were laid out in grids with square backyards, and then the back corner was an outhouse pit that was dug specifically for an outhouse that was going to be there for a long time. So it's 10, 15 feet down.
Sometimes even deeper.
Deeper with a brick liner.
So they didn't clean them out often.
Right. So it's like a cache of relics mixed in with the poop that's
whatever they threw down the toilet.
But in New England, it took me forever to figure this out. Why I would find where the outhouse was, but there wasn't a pit, and I'm like, the outhouse was right here. Where's the pit full of stuff? And it was because they had these clean out trays.
They were cleaning
and pull it out, but like
putting it in their garden.
Exactly, and just pooping into a box and dragging it out. So I find, like, typically you just picture, okay, if they're throwing trash in there too, so they're pooping, throwing ash from the fireplace after it's not smoldering, and some of their garbage here and there, guy drinking his whiskey nips or whatever, plops it down in there, and then dragging it to some place reasonable, like that little drop right over there.
Could be.
You know, that's just you take that guess. But to be honest with you, I have a real hard time locating them.
in the I think from what I gather from this woman that I rent from, sometime in the like the 20s or 30s, there was an attached barn here that burned.
Really?
And then they built that down the field because her great-grandfather burned it with his kerosene lamp, and he wasn't going to get electricity, So he still wanted to use his kerosene. So the missus was like, well, then you build that fucking barn down there because I don't want my house to go.
Really?
I mean, she probably didn't use the F-bomb.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
but family lore does that.
That's what
So you think there was a barn there, eh?
That's what the story was. Is that there was, and it might have been kitty corner, you know, or corner to corner. They often did that.
This is great. That guy's cool. I don't know if we'll find stuff, but we might. My shoes. Too many.
No, that's just from what I did. Oh yeah, and I didn't see anything. It almost looks like there's like a little bit of lime on there.
Yeah, there sure does.
Doesn't it? Which is kind of odd. And not for it being an outhouse, but...
Yeah, it goes through dirt and then clay, and then it opens up, like you say, and then you hit the bottom. Shit, we might have to dig this.
Yeah. I think it's worth digging just to say.
Like,
yeah, let's open it up.
Carve out in here and then shovel away. So Ben took the door off, unscrewed these hinges. Well, this will be a first. I've never dug a barn privy before. So Ben just pulled up this fence. I pulled it up a little bit further, and I saw this plate, and I go to pull this plastic plate out. And right beside this plastic plate is this.
I mean, come on.
Base
to a historical flask.
To a historical flask. That doesn't make much sense.
Well, people were using this house for a long time.
Yeah, but it's on the other side of this, and next to the plastic.
And it could have just been junk outside the house. Like, who knows, a barrel could have been sitting out here for years, decades.
Well, you know what? But I mean, it's confusing. I don't know where to. Doesn't help us to tell us where to begin. It just tells us there's a friggin' historical flask.
Yep.
4 inches under the ground.
That's crazy.
Mixed in with some modern fencing. So, like Marlborough Street, Keene.
Yeah. We found these two bottoms of these two flasks right on the top of the outside of the foundation, and that's all. We don't really think it's worth digging because they probably just cleaned it out, you know, over and over again and dumped it down the bank or something, which we're gonna go check out.
We looked everywhere, and we probed pretty deep right there, and Privy guys will see this and say, "Oh, you're gonna dig 40 more feet. They're down there."
That's just not.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not that way around here. But it was pretty interesting pulling off the clean out door, and we didn't find anything at all as we're digging.
Insane.
But outside was a large, what I'm guessing is an Eagle flask there, and I think that's a half-pint sunburst based on the way those ridges go. Oh, it hurts.
It does hurt, but
hey,
hey.
that's our